There is a secret that separates those who live a life of abundance from those who remain stuck in scarcity. It's not luck, it is not a privilege, it is not even the opportunity. It is something much deeper and more powerful. It is the power to think as rich even before having money. At this very moment, while you hear these words, millions of people around the world are waking up for another day of work, carrying the weight of delayed dreams and suffocated hopes on their shoulders. They look at their bank accounts, sigh in their own pay bills, and whisper to themselves, "If I had money, then I could be happy. If I had money, then I could live the life I want." But here is the truth that can transform its existence forever. This is precisely the mindset that keeps them poor. Wealth does not start in your pocket. She is not born in your bank account. True wealth is born at the depth of your mind, in the most intimate layers of your thoughts, in the very essence of how you see the world and its place in it. When you understand that thinking how rich is the first and most crucial step to become rich, you awaken to a reality that few dare to embrace. You already have everything you need to start your transformation. Imagine for a moment a sculptor before a block of gross marble. For inexperienced eyes, it is just stone. But the artist sees beyond the rough surface. He sees the masterpiece he is waiting to be released. Each coup of the chisel is not random. It is guided by a clear view, such a vivid mental image that it seems real. The sculptor does not expect the statue to appear to believe her. He believes he first, sees first, thinks as a sculptor before he even touching the stone. Your mind, rich view precedes your hand. Rich hand. This is exactly the difference between those who build lasting wealth and those who remain eternally waiting for it. The truly prosperous do not expect money to think like rich. They think as rich, and then money follows naturally, how a shadow follows the body that projects it. Napoleon Hill, in his monumental work, revealed to the world that thoughts are things. Not metaphorically, literally. Your thoughts have such powerful creative force that they shape your reality in ways you can barely imagine. When you consistently think as a rich person, when you adopt perspectives, attitudes, beliefs, and mental habits of the prosperous, you put inner visible forces that begin to reorganize your external life to correspond to your inner life. But what does precisely mean how rich? It means awakening every morning, not with the scarcity mindset that asks, "What do I lack?" but with the abundance mindset that declares, "What can I create today?" It means looking at opportunities where others see obstacles, see possibilities where others see problems, and recognize that each challenge is a disguised door waiting to be opened. A person who thinks how rich is not defined by his current circumstances. It is defined by its future possibilities. She doesn't say, "I can't afford to luxury," but asks, "How can I give myself a luxury?" She does not see money as scarce and difficult to get, but as something abundant, naturally flowing to those who offer genuine value to the world. Andrew Carnegie, the man who became one of the richest in history, began as a simple worker in a cotton factory, gaining only cents a day. But from the beginning, Carnegie thought as a businessman. While his colleagues saw only daily work, he saw opportunities to learn, grow, and eventually create. He invested every penny he could save not in momentary pleasures, but in education and opportunities. His mind was rich long before his pockets became. The difference was not in their external circumstances. These were equal to those of thousands of other workers. The difference was in its internal mindset. Carnegie thought in terms of abundance, investment, and growth. He saw each experience as a lesson, every connection as an opportunity, every challenge as a step to something bigger. This is the first law of true wealth. Your mind must become rich before your wallet can follow the example. And this mental transformation is not a happy accident or a gift reserved for few chosen. It is a deliberate choice, a conscious process that anyone can start right now. Think about this. At this time, you have access to the same source of mental power as all the great wealth builders in history have had. You have the same ability to view, dream, plan, and execute. The only difference between you and those who have already achieved the prosperity you want is that they have made a fundamental choice that you may not have made. The choice of thinking, feeling, and acting as a prosperous person, regardless of your current circumstances. When you really absorb this truth, when it allows it to penetrate not only your conscious mind, but every cell of your being, something extraordinary happens. You stop waiting for external permission to live abundantly. You stop seeking validation in the opinions of others. You stop measuring your value through your bank account balance and begin to recognize your true heritage, your mind's infinite ability to create, innovate, and transform not only your own life, but the life of all around you. The mindset of wealth is not about rampant greed or materialism. It is about understanding that you were created to prosper, to grow, to contribute significantly to the world. It is about recognizing that when you allow yourself to think great, dream big, and act according to this greatness, you not only transform your own life, but releases a positive energy that raises all around you. Consider for a moment how a truly rich person thinks about money. She does not see him as an end in himself, but as a tool, a means to create more value, more opportunities, more freedom. She understands that money is simply crystallized energy, and that this energy flows naturally to those who are aligned with the principles of value creation, genuine service, and continuous growth. When you adopt this perspective, when it starts to see money not as something you need to pursue desperately, but as something that naturally gravitates toward those who offer real value, your relationship with prosperity turns completely. You stop coming from a place of need and begin to come from a place of abundance. And this energy change is perceived by everyone around them, creating opportunities that once seemed impossible. But here is the crucial point that many lose. Thinking how rich is not a fantasy exercise or wishful thinking. It is a rigorous and disciplined process of mental restructuring that requires total commitment and consistent action. It is not enough to simply want to be rich or repeat empty statements. You must genuinely transform the substance from your thoughts, the quality of your decisions, and the direction of your actions. This means that you should start making decisions like a rich person would make. When confronted with a choice, ask yourself, what would a prosperous and successful person do in this situation? And then have the courage to follow this guidance, even when your current situation suggests otherwise. A person who thinks how rich he invests in himself before investing in anything else. She understands that her biggest asset is not a property. They are not actions or titles, but her own personal and professional development. She is willing to sacrifice short-term pleasures to build long-term capabilities. She reads when others watch television, studies when others rest, and practice when others complain. She also thinks in terms of multiplication, not just addition. Where a poor mindset asks, how much can I save? A rich mindset asks, how much can I multiply? She understands that true wealth does not come from tightening her belt indefinitely, but from expanding her ability to create value to others. Most importantly, a person who thinks is rich understands that failure is not the opposite of success, but an integral part of the way to success. She does not fear the mistakes. She sees them as valuable data, as feedback from the universe about what works and what doesn't work. Each failure is simply a disguised lesson, an opportunity to refine your approach and get even closer to your goals. This mindset extends to all aspects of life. A person who thinks how rich does not only save on some areas while wasting others. She is rich in her approach to time, rich in her approach to relationships, rich in her health approach, rich in her approach to learning. She understands that true wealth is holistic, that genuine prosperity covers all aspects of human experience. And here is perhaps the most liberating truth of all. You don't have to wait until you have money to start living according to the principles of wealth. You can start right now, regardless of your current financial situation. You can start thinking in terms of abundance instead of scarcity. You can start looking for opportunities instead of focusing on obstacles only. You can start investing in your personal development instead of wasting time and energy in activities that do not add value to your life. This transformation does not happen overnight. Like any profound and lasting change, it requires patience, persistence, and consistent practice. But here is the wonder. Every small adjustment in its mindset, every small decision aligned with the principles of wealth, every small investment in its personal growth creates a momentum that is built on itself, creating an avalanche of progress that eventually becomes impartable. The path to true wealth is not a sprint, but a marathon. And as any experienced marathon runner will tell you, the race is not overcome by the fastest, but the most consistent. the most determined, by those who keep the focus on destiny even when the path becomes steep and challenging. So, as you reflect on these words, while allowing these ideas to deeply penetrate your conscience, make a choice. Choose, right now, start thinking how the prosperous person you are destined to become. Choose, see opportunities where you once saw only problems. Choose to invest in yourself when others are wasting your resources. Choose believing in your ability to create abundance even when external evidence do not yet reflect this reality. Because here is the final truth that can transform your life forever. When you truly think as rich, when it becomes not just a strategy, but an identity, the universe conspires to make your thoughts reality. Opportunities begin to appear. The right people cross their way. The necessary resources manifest themselves. And one day you look around and realize that your external reality finally corresponds to the wealth you have cultivated internally for so long. This is the power to think like rich before having money. This is the secret that truly prosperous people know, and now you know too. The question that remains is simple but deep. What are you going to do with this knowledge? How will you allow him to transform not only your bank account, but your whole life? The answer is in your hands. Power is in your mind, and the moment is now.